Just before we get into the video, I want to do the segment that we do every single video, comment of the video, or comment of the last video. The title's a work in progress. This is a segment where I highlight one of my favourite comments from the last video, and this week we have a comment from why is there an accent on the A? Kasandi Kolos Belint. This video's comment comes from Kasandi Kolos Belint, who says, "Why wouldn't you call this the Cock and Bull Torture Championship Series?" Well, basically there's a risk that if I say those words too early into the video, I'll get demonetized. Welcome back to the Cock and Bull Torture Championship Series. We're at round number 9, halfway through the season now. We're heading to Canada. While Silverstone last time out wasn't exactly successful, we did have a clean race, and it seems like we've got a handle of the car, we're gaining some momentum, and Canada is a track that you can compete with the AI. We're looking for a strong result here. The only downside is the curbs at Canada are quite tricky, and there's quite a few corners that AI will dive me very aggressively and carelessly, so it's going to be a terrifying race. We're going to spend most of this race in dive bomb danger of the AI, I imagine, and it's a track that relies quite heavily on top speed. You know, now that I think about it, this race could be quite painful. You join me at the end of qualifying because I was pretty confident that I could get a lap in, at least to Q2. We're going to have at least 2 runs at this, assuming we don't mess up either of them, of course. We've got a time of 1 minute 14.5 to beat, and so far it's been a pretty decent lap as we come into the final chicane. We get through the final chicane without hitting the wall of champions. We'll see if I avoid that for the entirety of the race. We go up to P10, not too good a lap, so we're going to go again. We're immediately behind the Williams of course, it's Mark Webber, one of my favourite drivers. He doesn't drive a Honda, so he's not my least favourite, and he's not Yuji Ide, so I don't want to kill him. But, you know, not too big a fan, but we've got past him without any issue really, and we can push on into more traffic. There's quite a few cars that don't seem to care. We've gone 7 tenths faster in the first sector, so we can definitely find a lot of improvement and safely get through to Q2. We've somehow managed to get through most of the traffic. We've still got the Sauber ahead of me. We've hit the Sauber ahead of me, and that is that lap gone. Hopefully my first lap will be enough. We currently sit P13. We'll continue pushing because we had a pretty big improvement in the first sector. Never mind, we're a second down. Thankfully, we did enough just getting through to Q2 in P13. And my teammate Scott Speed got out-qualified by Yuji Ide. That is absolutely embarrassing. Who would do that? With fewer cars out on track, let's hope Q2 is a little more relaxed. I've gone out at the end of qualifying once again, so clearly I don't want it too relaxed. But hopefully there won't be any cars getting in my way. At least not quite as many as Q1. We've got the Sauber ahead of me as we come on to the back straight, but it's actually going to benefit us if we're going to get on the slipstream. And as we know, this car is not great in a straight line, so God knows we need it. I have set up this car for straight line speed this race. We'll see if it pays off in the race, and in qualifying, we're not able to overtake the Sauber. We're going to get held up a little bit through the final chicane, but honestly, not too much. Honestly, I was just lucky that I didn't hit the back of him and break my wheel. We're going to go P7 thanks to the slipstream. That should hopefully be enough for us. I really hope it is, because I've already messed up my final lap because I got stuck on the Sauber into turn 1. Again, we're going to continue to push on because why not? We might as well just see if we've got anything in the car. We've cut the first chicane, and that's the end of qualifying 2. We've got a 2/10 margin to Jensen Button and P10 with no real threats in the danger zone, so hopefully that is enough to see us through to Q3. And it is. It definitely wasn't comfortable, but we get through in P9 into Q3 for however many times I've got through to Q3 this season. So into Q3 we go. Ironically, the most boring qualifying session of the, well, session. With high fuel, we obviously lose a lot of pace, but we go P5 on our first run. We've got one more run left in us, 1 minute left on the clock. We're just going to push all out on this final lap and see if we can get any higher than P5. I doubt we're going to stay P5, but we've not immediately gone P10, so at least we've got some pace in this car. As we come onto the back straight, we are marginally faster in the middle sector. We're slower in the first sector, which means we've got to absolutely annihilate this final chicane. We're going to risk hitting the wall of champions, but If we want to improve, we got to send it. We've gone down to P8. We want to be further up the grid. We're going to absolutely send it into the chicane, and quite deservedly so. We're going to absolutely stack it into the wall. That was an absolutely horrendous cut. I got exactly what I deserved. But realistically, we had nothing to lose and everything to gain, so it was worth the risk. Not that it paid off, but we're going to start P8 for the Canadian Grand Prix. It definitely could have been more, but I'll happily take a top 8. Championship leader Felipe Massa starts P1, and it's a Ferrari 1-2 of Schumacher alongside. Unfortunately for me, I start right behind my worst enemy, the Hondas. You know what, I should talk to Fernando. I feel like me and him would really bond. Here we are on the grid for round number 9. It's a horrible sight ahead of us, there's a horrible sight to the left of us. Hopefully we can get them off the line and we don't have to deal with them. Please. Please don't take me out for, what is it, like the 5th time. Lights out and away we go. We get a good launch off the line and we're going to go straight up the inside of both Hondas, including Montoya as well. He gets us back under braking, but we've got the inside line for turn number 2. We're going to hug the inside and get the traction against Fisichella up into P4 out of turn number 2. It's been an absolutely outstanding start by us. It was purely fueled by the fear of the Hondas to get away from the Honda team. We're now challenging Michael Schumacher into turn number 6, and we've got Michael Schumacher into turn number 6. Up into P3 on the opening lap. We now have a much faster car behind us and someone who's probably going to send up the inside of many corners to come and take me out. But do you know what? I'm just going to enjoy being ahead of a Ferrari. It may mean the end of me, especially given how it's Michael Schumacher, but I'm just going to enjoy it while it lasts. Let's face it, I'm going to spin at one of the curbs anyway and ruin my race. Before the first lap was even up, it was pretty clear I did not have the pace of the leaders, and I had absolutely no right being in P3 battling Michael Schumacher. As we head down to turn number 1, he hits me a little bit, typical Michael Schumacher, and he's actually going to get me on the exit of turn number 2. We're going to try and come back at him in the turn number 3. Not really an overtaking opportunity, but we have a look regardless, and we actually get a brilliant run out of turn number 4. We're going to look to the outside of turn number 5, switch to the outside of turn number 6, and we've just gone around the outside of Michael Schumacher. Where was this Connor all season? Why couldn't I drive like this earlier? I could have won Bahrain if I had this form. At the end of lap number 4, we are still ahead of Michael Schumacher. I don't know how. I'm shocked I haven't been taken out yet. I'm shocked I haven't lost the car yet, because it's something I like to do. But we have pace. Not enough pace to catch the cars ahead. They've absolutely fucked off, but pace to stay ahead of Michael Schumacher. Now, how long it's going to last? Probably, I don't know, a couple corners. I'm not too fond of turn number 8, or turn number 7 actually. I don't like turn number 7 at all. We've had quite the incident through there. We've collected Schumacher on the way. We've broken the wing of Fisichella. We've got quite a severe penalty. We've lost our wing, but we've still got the car running. We've dropped down to P6 because, or P5, sorry, as Fisichella goes past us. We've hit the Hondas because obviously we can't go a race without hitting the Hondas. We need to at some stage. Whether they take me out or not is up to them, but it's been a bit of a dramatic lap number 5. Let's all be honest here, we all saw this coming. We knew it was going to happen eventually. We had our moment in the sun, in the dizzying heights of P3, and I got a little too dizzy. We went for a spin on the exit of turn number 7. The rest of this race will be on worn tyres and probably struggling to defend and drive and maintain any sort of traction whatsoever. The important thing is I got my thumbnail of me battling a Ferrari, so you'll all be led to believe that I did a lot better than I actually have. So it's pit stop time, much earlier than anticipated. The Renault is stopping with me, as is Michael Schumacher. Can't think what has happened to them. They must have had a similar incident to me. It is a difficult corner, so I understand why they also had issues. What is there to say during a pit stop? We are indeed stopping in the pit. It's been pretty good. We're getting quite used to these pit stops of me fixing my front wing, so we're pretty experienced. 13.3, absolutely phenomenal. We're going to come out in P21. We've had a retirement that actually had nothing to do with me. Fisichella is out in P20. Schumacher is somehow much further ahead. I genuinely, somehow he's avoided damage. Fuck knows how he did, because I made an effort to come back on track and try and catch Schumacher, and unfortunately I didn't have much control of the car, and I came back on track and collected Schumacher. On to lap number 9, and we're still P21, but cars are starting to... No, they're not. It's due to a retired car. Well, we're going to gain a position thanks to a retired car. We're going to have to be cautious of the oil spill, because as we know, There it is. Oil spills are absolutely deadly to everyone except everyone that isn't me. I messed that up, but I got my point across rather awkwardly. By the end of lap number 9, people are starting to make their pit stops and we're starting to gain positions and move up the field. Admittedly, we're not moving up the field too much. We've gone up one position. That would be at the expense of Christian Klein. Never mind, I've gone for a pirouette at turn number 1. We've actually still stayed ahead of Klein. We've lost all hope of catching on to the back of Rosberg because of that, but you know what? We're just going for style points at this point. We're not going for actual points. We've already messed that up, so we just had a bit of fun. We went for a nice spin, you know? We're just showing our excellent car control. At the end of lap number 10, you guessed it, it's going to be another pit stop overtake. I don't know why I've started this clip so far up the back straight, but we're going to go up to P17 as we come on to, no, P18. We're not going to get out ahead of Ralf Schumacher apparently. There he goes, that's really unfortunate. If only I hadn't been taken out into turn number 1 the previous lap, I would have got ahead of the Toyota. That's unfortunate. At the end of lap number 11, and you guessed it, it's another pit stop overtake. We're going to go from P18 to the dizzying heights of P15. P16. Can the game please stop teasing me like that? It's getting quite hurtful. We're going to get out just behind Jacques Villeneuve, so if we hadn't had, if we hadn't been taken out into turn number 1, not the previous lap, but the lap before that, we would have definitely been up into at least P14, maybe even P13. You know, it is what it is. You get taken out in this game, you just got to accept it and move on, and God, I hate the curbs on this game. At the end of lap number 12, and you guessed it, it's another pit stop. Oh, wait, hold on. No, it's not. We're right behind the Sauber of Jacques Villeneuve. We've got a brilliant run through the final corner. We're going to be side by side with the Sauber as we come on to the following lap. We've gone up to P13 thanks to pit stops. It is a pit stop overtake, but it's also an on-track overtake up into a phenomenal P13. We started P9. Let's ignore that. It seems for the first time ever this season, as the tyres are starting to wear, I've actually found some pace. We're on the back of the Toyota. Ralf Schumacher looks like we're rectifying the issues and the problems we caused ourselves thanks to being taken out, not the spins. I don't spin. I don't make those stupid kind of mistakes. But for whatever reason, we have found a bit of pace compared to the cars around us. We're right on the back of Ralf Schumacher as we come down towards the hairpin. We see Nico Rosberg ahead of us. We could potentially get a P11 finish if things go our way. If we maintain this pace, we send up the inside of the Toyota. It's now going to be a drag race. This is going to be. No, it's not. He's pulled out of it. We're up into P13, P12. Thank you for updating quick so I could have a nice, clean and efficient commentary there, game. We're now going to be absolutely terrified as we head down towards the chicane, and we're going to rightfully let the Toyota pass, because if I had gone for the apex there, I would have absolutely lost many parts of my car. But we're going to come back at Ralf Schumacher in towards turn number 1. We think about sending up the inside. We don't really have the braking power and the overspeed to challenge the Toyota, but it does seem like we do have the pace on him. Round 2, and now it's my turn to sit in the slipstream down the back straight. We're quite far away from the Toyota. We're going to have to absolutely send it into the final braking zone. For the first time ever this season, we have straight line speed, and we're going to send up the inside of the Toyota, side by side, banging wheels as we come through the chicane. We've got the Toyota, not having to fear him into the final braking zone. Hopefully now we can pull away from him and chase down Nico Rosberg for P11. Given how Heimfeld's 6 seconds ahead of us, I don't think we'll be challenging for the top 10, at least not without someone ahead of us having car troubles in the final few laps. But a P11 in a Toro Rosso is still a very decent result. Ignore the fact I was sitting in P3 in the opening few laps. Never mind, by the final lap, my tyres, as you can see, were absolutely shot. I can't say I'm too surprised. I did pit on, what was it, lap 5 or 6 or something. I can't blame my tyres for being, well, for screaming by the end of this race. Rosberg has pulled away, but we've stayed ahead of the Toyota, which, honestly, I would have put money on me losing that position. So we're going to come home in arguably a respectable P12. I'm sure the comments will disagree with that, given how we started P9 and we're in P3 at some point, but P12, I'd still argue that's a decent recovery from my own mistake. My own horrific mistake. Championship leader Felipe Massa bottles pole position in Canada. Alonso takes the win. We still maintain that phenomenal stat. Only Ferrari drivers have won this season. Somehow, Michael Schumacher has finished P3. That's oh fuck, Coulthard's finished 7th. That's not going to look good for me. We finished P12 while our teammate finishes P16. You know, I still stand by the fact that is a decent result. I stand by it. Yes, we bottled points once again, but when do we not, really? Even when we get points, we end up bottling points. It's just what I do. It's just part of the strategy. I'm basically a Ferrari driver. Oh my god, I'm going to win this season. Despite losing out on the race win, Massa beats who he needs to. Montoya didn't end up finishing, Schumacher ended up P3. I don't know how he did it, but he did. And at the midpoint of the season, Massa holds a 19-point lead over Montoya. I don't know how Montoya is still P2 actually. In the Constructors, obviously, Ferrari continue to dominate. McLaren still sit P2, Renault move up to P3, and the battle for P5 is, honestly, it's absolutely outstanding. Toro Rosso sit 5th, Toyota are 6th, Red Bull are 7th, all separated by just 2 points. And Midlands somehow still sit in P8. Good job, Midlands, honestly. Fair play. Williams and Sauber, you're fucking embarrassments. Super Aguri, honestly, you're performing better than expected. So next time out, we'll be going to the US Grand Prix. We're going to the Indy 500. Sort of. It's a track that I enjoy, it's a track that I do feel like I can compete, and hopefully we can maintain this form of, well, we have been spinning, but we've not been, well, we have been bottling, but like the video.